Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. Two stakes races for New York breds on tap at Aqueduct on Sunday, including race number 7. This is the East View Stakes, 100 grander for the 3-year-old fillies going 3/4 of a mile. Let's take a look at this field. 6-5 on the rail for Caldwell Loves Gold. She's already a stakes winner, and she's dropping in class after facing a tough group in the Open Demoiselle going 9 furlongs. Has to deal with a layoff, however.
Yeah, short layoff here for Brad Cox, though, who has good numbers with horses like this. And it just feels like the most important thing for her, Dan, might just be getting back to sprinting here.
Let's throw up the Timeform US pace projector. Caldwell Loves Gold, you see, has the LP flag over her chiclet. That means she has the fastest Timeform US late pace rating. The pace should be fair for her. Solo Shot the 3, Bustin' Time the 4. These horses have a good amount of early speed. Even the 6 Rumant, I wouldn't be surprised if she's close today.
Yeah, that could happen for sure. The 2 Sweet Brown Sugar is rateable, but she's not a slow horse. More than anything else, this is a good pace projector maybe for Caldwell Loves Gold, Dan, because the 2 horses that are projected to be on the lead, they might just be overmatched here no matter how fast they go.
Caldwell Loves Gold has hit the board in all 4 starts around 1 turn, including a stakes win at Saratoga, sprinting at this distance in the Seeking the Ante. The Demoiselle probably too tough from a class standpoint, and it didn't help that she caught one of those speed-favoring muddy tracks, one in gate-to-wire fashion. I'm willing to give her a mulligan. That distance probably too far for her.
Yeah, I don't care about the Demoiselle. I realized that 2 back in the Maid of the Mist, she was 2-5 in a New York bird race, and she didn't get the job done. But it's not like it was a terrible performance. And my main squeeze, who won that race, turns out might be the best horse in this division right now. So I don't know, Dan. I like her getting back to sprinting here. It's not that long of a layoff. Those first 2 starts at Saratoga, she was last both times, which is never a good thing, I don't think. But man, did she look good winning those races. 80 Buyer, second time out as a 2-year-old. If she improves off that, she's tough in here.
The number 2, Sweet Brown Sugar, is the only 3-time winner in this field, and she's coming off a sharp score last time out when entered for the $80,000 claiming option. This is a muddy track going 6.5 furlongs, and Jose Lezcano kept her well off the rail on the turn when she challenged for the lead, and once she made the lead, it was all over.
This is good stuff from her here. She finally got the right trip. It felt like in this race, Dan, stalking 3 wide. She looked like she had a good amount of potential going 2 for 2 last year. I really liked both of those wins. Franklin Square didn't work out when she didn't break well. She was sort of in behind horses 2 starts back, and still I thought ran an okay race, but she put it all together there. She's pretty good.
The 3 is Solo Shot, and she won her first 2 starts, including a stakes race at Finger Lakes, when able to show off her early speed. Now, she really hasn't run back to those races yet. She'll be making her first start off the claim after finishing second in this race, a $32,000 open seller over a wet track. She had the lead in here, Mike, just not good enough as the favorite.
Yeah, this isn't a good loss. Big class drop here. She made the early lead, as I'm sure that they wanted her to do again in this spot. And the winner, who was the longest shot on the board in this race, just sat right on top of her and easily outfinished her. They're moving her up off the claim here, Dan, and she's going to need to improve a lot.
Bustin' Time is the number 4. She was a debut winner against open competition at Delaware, and you can understand why Robbie Davis dipped in and took her for $20,000 as a New York bred with all of her conditions left. She's run twice for this barn, and she just hasn't run back to that first start. It's going to be your 3rd start of the form cycle, and I do expect her to be closer to the pace this time around.
I think they're going to try to use her speed once again here. We'll see, how much she can improve too, because on paper, she's just totally overmatched here, Dan. The first start in New York, the first start off the claim, that was a pretty fast and contested pace that she got involved in, and she paid the price there. I don't know that most recent start, though, it was a drop in class for her. She did not run well.
13 Red Flags is the number 5, and she's only raced twice previously on fast going. She's won both of those races. She's coming off a 3rd place finish against Sweet Brown Sugar over a wet track, and she's the kind of horse that I think is tactical and pace adaptable. I don't think she's a true one-run closer, but she can sit just off the speeds and get the jump on the horse on the rail turning for home.
That's a fair way to look at her for sure. She's not going to be on the lead in here or that close to it, but she won't be that far away either. I think that's a valid way to look at this horse. I liked her win 2 starts back then, but it's just, it's worth pointing out. She had a great trip in that race. That pace was fast and contested. She got a clean run into it. That's the race where Sweet Brown Sugar was sort of down inside and behind horses. I still thought this filly ran well there, and I think she's interested in this race but I think she's going to need to catch a break or two also.
The number 6, Rumint, overcame pace pressure to win her career debut and showing good early speed. She was stretched out to a one-turn mile last time out and was sort of hung outside for most of the way. With this outside post position, I think she could take up a good stalking position. She just has to prove she's this good, but I don't mind her cutting back to 6.
I don't mind that either. Maybe it'll make a difference for her. I also like the fact that it seems like she's training pretty forwardly on the way into this, so maybe it'll make a difference. I don't really know what to say about her, Dan. Her debut was fine. I didn't think it was great, but she was, certainly did what she had to do there, and she was professional. She was bad last time. Whether that was too tough in the mile, maybe she didn't want all that stuff. She was bad in that race.
Bernie takes charge. The number 7 was second best to favored My Main Squeeze 2 starts back in the Franklin Square, going 6 furlongs. That was a solid enough performance. They tried her in the Maddie May. She was a little farther back in the early portion of that race. Got, I thought, a decent enough closer's trip and was just no match for My Main Squeeze again. Maybe cutting back in distance works for her. I don't think she'll be too far away while outside and in the clear.
I agree with all that stuff. I mean, listen, last time she didn't won a great race there, but those 1-2 finishers, they're both pretty good, and she just didn't really have any chance. If she runs that race 2 back, that Franklin Square, she's probably the horse to beat in this race.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the East View. Caldwell Loves Gold, the horse to beat, I think, even with the layoff for Brad Cox. Just needs a little bit of pace help up front.
Yeah, she does. I'm just going to take her. I'm not going to, sit here and defend her too hard at a really short price in this race, Dan. I just think it's a good spot for her. The other horse for me was Sweet Brown Sugar. I think she'll be a fair price again. And I think she's pretty good.
Sweet Brown Sugar is very usable at a price considering what she did last time out, which was kind of a breakout performance for her. But for me, Bernie takes charge. Both of her sprints are good. She has the recency edge over the morning line favorite, and maybe she gets the jump on that horse turning into the stretch. 1-2-7-5 for Mike, 7-2-1-5 for me. The East View is one of 2 stakes races for New York breds at Aqueduct on Sunday. Good luck.